Oh, bass on 2-pound test. And my net is over. This is a nice bass too. My net is over in the car. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Iowa Panfishing. Thanks for joining me. And I've said this in a couple of videos already, but it bears repeating. 2022 has been by far, hands down, not even close, the best year of fishing in my entire life. I have been fishing now for probably 46 of my 58 years on this planet, and for an entire year, this has been the best year ever. I've done more fishing this year than I have ever in my life in a year's time. I've fished more bodies of water than I've ever fished in a year's time. I've caught more fish than I've ever caught in a year's time. I've caught the biggest fish that I've ever caught. Two carp, one 15 pounds, one 19 pounds. Prior to that, I was 15 years old when I caught a 13-pound catfish. And so it's been 45 years since I caught a fish that big. I've had the blessing of meeting some of you who watch the channel, and that's been a blessing. I've had the opportunity to meet the owners of several different ponds. Greg Ferris, the owner and creator of the Trident Explorer watercraft, allowed me to test his watercraft, and as a result of that, I was able to spend some time out on the pond in his subdivision on that watercraft. In fact, I did that just recently. The last video that I posted was spending time with Greg. Nate and Sue, who live in Cedar County. Got to meet them this year. They have a large piece of property where they have several ponds. 3 of them have fish in them. And I was able to help them with the health of one of their ponds by removing over 1,000 bluegill, one at a time, from that pond to reduce some of the pressure that all of those bluegill were putting on that pond. I met my friends Jeff and Jan, who live out in Jasper County. Jeff has a small pond on his property. Found out that I was looking for a place to take a friend and his 4-year-old son on their first fishing trip ever. And hearing that, Jeff, not knowing me at all, Jeff said, "Tony, bring your friend and his son out to my property. I've got lots of fish. They'll have a great time." And through that, a wonderful relationship is developed with Jeff. And then there's Aaron and Mindy. Aaron and Mindy, who live down in Davis County, farmers right on the Missouri-Iowa border. They have a number of farming properties that include several ponds. I've been able to go down there several times. I took my pastor and his 5-year-old son down for a fishing trip down there, and as a result of that, have made wonderful friends in Aaron and Mindy. I've been able to serve some fishermen by providing them with some bait fish in the form of bluegill that I caught in Nate and Sue's pond. And so that was a neat opportunity to serve some other fishermen in a small way. Been able to provide dinners for a number of families in my church and my neighbors across the street. And so that was a wonderful blessing too. And none of that is boasting, because I am the recipient along the way of so much kindness, so much generosity, so much hospitality, and so many opportunities to be blessed by and hopefully bless others, that all I can do is thank God for all of the opportunities. And it's according to His providence that any of these things have happened. So I am just very grateful and thankful for it. So the year is drawing to a close now. I just the other day, as I was driving away from Aaron and Mindy's property, I noticed some ponds along the road that were starting to form some ice on them. It's getting cold out here. We had, I think, a couple of inches of snow here today in eastern Iowa. So open water fishing is going to draw to a close here pretty soon here in Iowa. I am hoping to try my hand at some ice fishing this winter. Jeff, who I already mentioned, likes to ice fish on his pond, and so he's invited me to come out and to show me the ropes of doing that. So I hope to do that. I don't know how much ice fishing I'm going to do this year. I lack a lot of the equipment and know-how at this point to do that. And so videos are going to become fewer and farther between until the water opens up again. But what I'm hoping to do to occupy my time, so I'm not going through withdrawals waiting for the water to open up again, is I'm going to try my hand at tying my own jigs. I've bought the equipment that I need to do that. I've got some jig heads ready to go. Just need to buy some materials. Been watching videos, taking notes, trying to learn how to do this. And so I'm going to try my hand at that this winter. And I'm hoping that come next spring that I'll actually have some jigs that I've tied. And I'm hoping to catch some bluegill bass or crappie on those jigs. That would thrill me to no end to actually catch something on a jig that I made. And just the thought of it reminds me of my days fishing with my dad when I was a young kid. My dad and I started fishing together at the same time. It was a wonderful pastime for us. And I remember my dad always had in his mind that he was going to create a new bait that was going to make us all rich and set us for life. And so he was always trying new baits and concocting things. And of course, most of it never, ever worked. But it was just a fun part of that adventure and a neat memory for me. And so I'm hoping to catch fish on jigs that I've made, and just think about what my dad would think of that if he was still here. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so let me set up what you're about to see here. And I spent the other day down at Aaron and Mindy's property in Davis County. It was very, very cold, very, very cold, in the 20s. And so my GoPro batteries had a lifespan of just minutes as opposed to an hour. The cold really affected them. And so I got very little video of the fishing. The first pond I went to was a pond I've been on before, a small pond, and caught a dozen or so small crappie and a bluegill. And that was fun. That was great. As part of my plan, I was going to spend the first part of the morning on that pond. And then Aaron and Mindy have a small pond, maybe about a half-acre pond, right next to their house. That's the pond where I took my pastor and his 5-year-old son. That's where we started our fishing day. We did catch several fish out of there. And so I had brought down a gift for Aaron and Mindy as a way of saying thank you for their kindness and hospitality and generosity for letting me fish their waters. And so I was planning on finishing the morning on the pond right next to their house, and then run the gift up to their house and before I headed back home. And I was down to my last camera battery, and sadly, because the fishing was great in that little pond, I brought home 5 crappie between 12 and 13 and a half inches. I brought home 4 or 5 bluegill that were 9 inches plus. and the fish you're about to see. Now, I mentioned that it's been really neat making new friends and meeting people this year. That's part of what has made fishing so great this year. But as you're going to see in this video, it's not only the people that I've met. I also met Cruz. Take a look.
Come here, boy. Come on. Come here. Hi. Hi there. Hello. Hi. How you doing? Huh? How you doing? Hi. It's good to see you. Good dog. Yes, you're a good boy. Yes. What a good boy. You keep me company? Fishing's kind of slow today. Fishing's kind of slow today. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Oh, hello. Oh, hi. Thanks for the visit. Yeah, you're a good dog. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thank you. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Yes. You're a good boy. Yes, you are. You're a good boy. All right, first fish. If I can get it in. Feels pretty good. Oh, bass on 2-pound test. And my net is over. This is a nice bass too. My net is over in the car. Come here, come here. Come here, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Oh, come here, come here, come here. Oh, there'll be good fillets on that one. Oh, that's a pretty one. Interesting sheen on it. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Come here. There we go. Look at that one. That's a chunker. That's a nice fish. Caught that on a 2-pound test. And a tiny little jig. Wow, how much that weigh? That's probably a couple of pounds. Oh, nice fillets on that one. Let's get a weight. Let's get a weight on. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Let's go see it. You see it. Come on, let's go. Yo, you're excited, aren't you? Look at that. Look at that. Yes. Oh, well, I got someone to keep me company. Hi. Yeah. There you go. Oh, come on. Oh, stop it. Wait. $1.96. Right at 2 pounds. But it's not that long though. How long is it? Well, oh, actually, that's probably about 15. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ah, chomping down on me. What are you doing? Oh, yeah. About 15 and a half. That's nice. All right, let's get the basket out here. All right.
So that was Cruz, huh? What a lovable dog. Cruz is a farm dog. Cruz has his run of the property there. He's keeping an eye on things. He's kind of like the sheriff. And he is an Australian Shepherd healer mix. Blue healer mix is what Mindy believes he is. But just a really, really neat dog. When Cruz came, I had met Cruz before, briefly, the first time I was down at their property. So I'm parked there along the shoreline of this tiny little pond, and I see Cruz wandering over, and he starts sniffing around my car. I have the rear hatch of my car open, and so he's up, looking around, sniffing around, probably smelling the first batch of crappie that I caught there. But he was really curious about my car. And so as you could see, he came over and was very friendly. We cuddled for a little bit, and then he really enjoyed when I brought in that 2-pound bass. And oh, what a fun catch that was on a 4.5 foot Fluger ultralight rod and reel combo with 2-pound test and a 1/32 ounce jig. I was fishing that particular pole for crappie and bluegill, and that bass decided to hit it, and that was great. So I went up to the house after I was done, and Mindy shared with me the story about Cruz. I told her how he was sniffing around my car, and when I pulled up to the house, he was right up at the door, and he wanted to hop into the car. I thought he wanted to go for a ride, and she said, "Oh no, I don't think he wanted to go for a ride. I think you had a treat for him." I said, "Oh." Because apparently, whenever a postal truck comes, or UPS or FedEx or someone comes to the house, they come and they provide bones and other treats for Cruz. To the point where there was one delivery guy who showed up, and Cruz hopped up into the truck and would not get out of the truck until he got his bone or his treat. And so Cruz is well known by the delivery people in that area, and so they come bearing gifts. But again, it was wonderful to spend a little time with that dog, with Cruz, out there along the water to catch that fish, and just another highlight of a wonderful, wonderful day of fishing, a wonderful year of fishing. Hey, if you haven't already seen it, there's going to be a link here in the video for another video. I want you to go to that video, watch that video, and enter to have me buy your 2023 fishing license. I would really like to do that. I'm going to buy a couple of fishing licenses for people who have subscribed to the channel and who enter. So make sure to click on that video and watch that video and enter. I would love to be able to provide you with your 2023 fishing license. All right, that's all I have for this edition of Iowa Pan Fishing, everybody. Thanks for joining me. God bless. And until next time, let's go fishing.